You also talk about the growth spiral and
Yeah.
growth-based learning.
Yes.
Tell us more about that.
Sure. You know, that we have this notion of a spiral of learning. I'll learn a little bit here and I'll build on that and it'll spiral. The problem there is that you can get caught in this kind of continuous loop, like when you're waiting on the internet for the application to open and it goes still working, you know, that little symbol. There's a certain amount of spiral-like learning that's like that. You feel like you're building on and learning, but you're actually kind of stuck in this bubble. So really growth-based learning starts with the notion that what you learn should change your view of the future. I'll give you an example. This is just a very simple model. You plan to do something, you do it, you reflect on it, and you yield an insight from that reflection that you can use in the future. Now, a lot of what we do is, I plan to do it, I did it, didn't work, I'll plan again, oh, that didn't work either, I'll plan again, maybe that'll work. Okay, that's plan, do, plan, do, plan, do. Once in a while we say, oh no, we're going to stop and reflect, how'd this go? So we do plan, do, reflect. We go, that didn't work very well. You still don't have any learning. You have to go to, so what's the insight we got from this reflection that in the future we will hold dear to? We just simply are going to use this. When you do that, your spiral opens up, and there's actually in Mother Nature, there are actual spirals that show that opening up like this, and it's actually a very dramatic increase in span of consciousness. That's what growth learning is, but it's hard work.
And again, how can you fit something like this into digital learning?
Well, that's the promise and the downside of digital. The promise of digital is, if we could take our people through that plan, do, reflect, yield insight, don't get to move forward until you've yielded insight. Digital can help with that because we can bring quite a community of people together and stay till we're sure we got that insight. Or digital can absolutely deaden it by saying, oh, we got an insight, just use this insight, instead of going through that process. You see what I mean? And there's a lot of digital learning out there that's like that. Already figured out, here's your answer. Go and do.
Yeah. What does that look like? The digital learning solutions that are just like, people consider boring, let's say.
It's typically a half-hour video by a subject matter expert, which is good information, but it's not contextualized to you or your organization or your purpose. So, for example, let's say you want to become a more effective leader. Okay? If you go to Amazon.com and in the book section, you search for leadership, you know how many books come up? 270,000 books on leadership, all of which are no doubt excellent. You follow me? And so that's the downside if we think somehow in that already produced learning outcome that there's growth of skill and knowledge and wisdom in that. There can be, but then it's all on me individually in my self-directed learning to take that in and use it, and sometimes that helps, you know. But how much better it is if there's a group of us working together. Would an analogy help?
Sure.
This is the book club analogy. Okay, we're going to have a book club. Get everybody together. Okay, everybody, let's go read a book, whatever. Come back in a month. And we'll read whatever's interesting. We'll come back and we'll discuss our books. So we come back in a month. Everybody does a little thing on the book they read, and that's kind of cool. And done. Or book club 2 is, okay, let's all read this book. Everybody agree this book is of value and interest? Yeah, okay. And let's bring our insights from this book back together. When that book club gets back together, they got quite a bit to share, and it's already still individually contextualized. You know, it adds context to that reading. And that's what I mean by having a group pay attention to a common purpose. It needs to be coordinated like that.